Good good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Good Servant Show, where we are here to worship the Lord Jesus Christ. Yes, it's just weird it being a show now. Like, I remember when we first started, when Tom and I first started the channel, it was just two guys talking. And because like every morning we would talk to each other anyway, like, oh yeah, this new conspiracy or this new thing in the news, or this is back when I was even watching the news before before it came to the conclusion that it was all just together and corrupt and one big chunk, right? But back then it was, oh yeah, this over here and this over there and this might be true. And so we just decided to record that. It's like 20 minutes or a half hour every day and put it on the channel. And then here we are, right? Now I'm using their little phony music at the beginning. And welcome to the show, you know. Hey Lariva, how are you doing? First in the chat, two lurkers. And oh, now we got more lurkers now. I think it's better to start before 5 now. I'm gonna do that because we started just a little bit early and there's already 5 people here, which normally it takes like until it hits 5 minutes before people to start filing in here. Hey Hannah, how are you doing? Which one is this about? What is this about, Anne? Hey, fact checker! Yay! I haven't seen you in a little bit. Um, yeah, there's just so much stuff going on. Love you, kiddo. Thanks, Anne. Um, so like, I don't know, man. Like personally, everything is great, right? And I had this conversation with Michael a couple days ago, right? Where he said if you eat anything in Thanksgiving, right, then it should be good, right? And but I knew that there was a difference between stuff with ingredients like a McDonald's compared to like a salad. And I eat like, I don't know, I want to say 99% of everything I eat with Thanksgiving, right? If I'm honest, right? Um, and these nutty bars or whatever, nutty butters, that's not good for me, man. That sugar messed me up, man. I don't know if it's gonna take me 3 days to feel good again. But what do you call it? I think I'm better off with just regular food, I think. I think the ingredients in it matter, but I think it's all safe. Does that make sense? Everything is safe. But do you think I could turn? Maybe it's possible. I don't put any limits on God. I could probably turn a Cheeto into a turkey dinner. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not counting that out. You know. It says I was sick. Oh, you were sick. Oh, I don't want you to be sick. You were sick. Like what? You were like in bed or whatever. Like I mean, like. Oh wow. Natural. Yeah, that's what I think too. I think we should kind of like if we can, right? Just eat better. Because I was just eating rice and beans and like not a lot of meat really, but only because I couldn't afford it. I like eating meat. I'm not against it. I'll eat a handful of meat every week or so, but I don't crave it, but I like it. And but I eat a lot of rice and beans now, and a lot of vegetables and stuff like that, like little vegetables, little cut up vegetables or whatever, regular sized vegetables that are cut up. And I think I mean, I think it's good, right? Like, I mean, God is so good providing for us, right? And then I think about like people in countries where they just really don't have, like, they got to eat what they have, you know? And in that case, for sure, I think yes, prayer will get you through life at that point, right? And I mean, why aren't we like that? Like, why don't we have like that? I mean, we are, right? But like, I can imagine us going one notch better, you know? I can imagine us going one notch better, depending on like from prayer to prayer. And well, while it sounds like, of course, it's easy to say, like to live like like much of a challenging existence, right? Like where, you don't have water or plumbing or, even food, right? That it's a worse way to live, obviously, right? But like, I wonder if spiritually you're not more connected to God, you know? Because you need God, like, right? I mean, we do, but I mean, I want to need him even more for everything. There's nothing I want to do without him. And maybe it's just like a little bit of like that I just could imagine being, because like I was in the army for a little while, and there were some like difficult field problems, difficult field problems where we were out in out in the sticks or whatever, and it was hard, right? But I just remember like the appreciation and gratitude of getting out of it and surviving during it. And and that's just a training exercise. Imagine if your life is really on the line. And official facts checker says it was actually really good to be sick because it slowed me down. I spent more time in my relationship with God. See, that's what I'm talking about, right? These like hard times, I think sometimes bring us closer to God, because really the only reason that I'm even where I'm at, with God now is because like my brother was sick, very sick when we were young. And if he didn't like, feel his own mortality as a child, right? Uh, and start, getting into God then, right? I wouldn't be where I'm at now. There's no way. It does make you more close to God being without the convenient comforts not everyone has. Yeah, I try not to take these things for granted, right? These luxuries, right? But like, I mean, there's really nothing hard about my life other than like, of course we all have a past, right? We've all had to conquer our demons, right? Our mistakes, things like that, right? And yeah, getting over that, or getting of course some of us were abused, right? Getting out of that, right? Those things, that's our trials, right? Those are no one has like, everyone has an uphill climb, let's put it that way, no matter what they've been through, right? But there's something about going through like these really tough times, like without the convenient comforts. You're right, Lariva. And it says, my husband is retired military and they almost killed him, but maimed him for life. Yeah, unfortunately. So listen to this, right? I won't go into a full story, but I had a neck injury. And I went into the doctor and they gave me a cortisone shot. This is when I was in the military. They gave me a cortisone shot. And then every Friday from that date for a year, they gave me cortisone shot. And when I got out of the military, I asked them, I said, hey, I need to get a cortisone shot? I get them every week. And they almost looked at me crazy, right? And the lady said, you're only supposed to get like 2 or 3 of those a year. Like you're not supposed to get them every week. I know, facts checker. That's what they told me, right? And I'm like, what do you mean, right? And then they asked me, they go, did they use the little nummy stuff that makes your head numb too? I'm like, yeah, they put the numb stuff on there first, and then they put the cortisone on it, and I asked, when I asked about that, forget who I asked. I mean, it wasn't anything official, just kind of like on the side. Like, why did they give me so much cortisone? And they said it's because they're just trying to get you back out there. They're not trying to, they're not thinking of your long-term health. When you sign that contract, you're their property, and it's kind of like being an athlete, like they just want you to be functional. And yeah, that it was damaging to me. Now my neck is just, it's horrible, man. I mean, they do pay me for it now, but I mean, I'd rather it does. My neck cracks just by turning it. It goes crack, crack, like all the way up and down. And then the very top one, it's very painful. And I was like, wow, I didn't know that they could do that, that they were allowed to do that. But apparently they are, and it's really not that big a deal. Like it's not that uncommon. So I'm like, wow, okay. So, but see, like, I think that if we go through, yeah, it's not about wellness. You're right about that. And like, who knows, right? Like even when you're out, like in the real world, right? Like it's still a business, right? I mean, there's drug companies that come by the office or whatever, give you free pens or whatever, and say, yeah, this is a good one to give people. Who knows, right? It's all about that. Sometimes it's all about that money for some people, unfortunately, right? Because if you think about it, right, like this is a trip, right? If all the shiny stuff and all the money um, were taken out of this world, right? All the money, all the shiny stuff, everything, there would still be all the materials here to live, right? Like we don't need the money. Like you need supplies to build a house. like they have us tricked to thinking this stuff has value, but it's really our work, right, that has value, our sweat, you know and they have us tricked, man. And I wish like everything was more like, I don't know, man. Like I want to know how God sees me, right? Like I want to know how God sees us, like what we mean to him, what he imagines us to be. These are all things that like we should be learning, instead of all this garbage, man. I mean, all these lies. I mean, is it necessary to teach me I come from a fish that grew feet and started running around, and he grew fur, and then you know what I mean? Like that's ridiculous, man. And there's people with PhDs in that. The same people that are shooting cortisone in my neck. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And like, there's all these deep spiritual things that we should already be like. I shouldn't say should, right? But it's like, yeah, no. Well, it says 10 up there now, like on my thing, but I know that's crazy, isn't it? Right? But yeah, it's like we should be focused on these spiritual ideas of like just how much, like, because like if you don't have money, right, like anything will become currency. Like your time is money. I know it's never the same on anybody's thing, the counter, right? But like in the absence of money, right, everything becomes currency, right? It's currency, like your property around your house, your radio, it's all money, right? If you don't have no money, you can use it to get something, right? And when you grow up poor like I did, you start calculating your you start calculating your possessions, like, okay, I can get that for that for that. If things are really tight, I can sell the TV. Like things like that, right? And like I think that like spiritually, like things cost money, right? Like you have to be a nice person and love people and treat people with respect, and all that has value, right? Like what kind of person you are has value, you know? Not what you become, but who you are, you know? And when you say, okay, well, money is going to be the thing that we trade, well, then you don't even have to be nice if you have a stack of it, you know? I mean, you could be horrible, you know? I know YouTube's always messing with the numbers. One time it had my encounters had one on it, and there was like 5 people chatting like actively, and I'm like, okay, there's something crazy now going on. Well, mine is like, I have to be honest, I have like maybe a 20-second like gap between when I talk and when you hear it. So like it probably was 9 when you saw it. It probably was 9 for me, but you're hearing my voice from a while ago. Yeah, rich people are weird, man. Like super rich people are weird. Yes, yes. I was over watching Michelle's stream for a second, right? And she was doing that voice, right? But the rich people, I forget who she was saying, like Buckley or something. She's like, "Hello," like I can't do it. I can't do it, but like that voice, the rich voice. I am a cut above you. I can't do it. But it's funny. No, but it is funny, right? They got, like, where it started to get weird for me is like, Paris Hilton had this little dog in her purse. That's when like people were carrying around dogs in their purses. That was a big thing. I don't know if it was like in style way before and then came back into style. I don't know. But everybody had a dog in their purse, walking around Hollywood. You're like, what is going on here? Like, what do you like? It doesn't get any exercise or nothing. Hey, hey, what's up, Alex? I know, whatever. But it is, no, but it's so fun. I mean, it's just crazy, man. I know. I know. The little dog and but like, how do you take it to go to the bathroom and all that? Because I was thinking, right? Not even, it was like 2 days ago. I was like, I want to get one of those little teddy bear, little teddy bear. I think they're terriers or Pomeranians or something. Yeah, she did have that. It was Lionel Richie's daughter, right? Lionel Richie's daughter, Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie. That's right. But like, I wanted to get a dog, but I knew I needed to get like a little dog because I have an apartment. Like it's a nice size apartment, but it's like, their little legs, it's better that they get, running back and forth, to get exercise or whatever. And, I can't take it outside that much. Sorry, Debbie. I'm so sorry. Oh, it's like we should be at this level right now where God is like the biggest celebrity, right? Like God should be the biggest celebrity in our life and only celebrity, really, And it's like being lied to from like birth all the way till now, right, has caused so much damage. Like, we're the lucky ones, man. If we were able to pop out of that, somehow, or it didn't work on us quite right, because I know it has to be some kind of spell because there's obvious things that people just miss. I mean, does anybody ever say, yeah, there's 6 moon missions all named after the Antichrist in Revelation, you know? That's right. That's right. That Yeshua, Jesus is the only star. That's it. And even star is a low word, right? Sometimes when I say star, I'm like, oh, okay, that's even too low for him. Like there should be a word like way bigger than king, bigger than God even, right? Like, I mean, who knows, right? Like there's just no language to hold him, right? He's just perfect, you know? Perfect in every way, perfect human being walking the earth, perfect everything, savior, everything. He can do it all at once, right? Yeah, if you're making it in Hollywood on the A list, you are fully captured by the. Oh yeah, Rob, I have no doubt about that. Right? Like I used to think that maybe like, oh yeah, this one celebrity, like they really get it, you know, or maybe this other one's okay. I don't think it. I think even the ones that say they're Christian people are it's a gag, man. It's not real. And there's so much symbolism around like it not being real, you know. And it's just I don't know, man. And like if you don't believe in one conspiracy, another one will cover it, or another one, meaning like give you another filter to say like, okay, well, based on this, it can't be real, or based on this one, it can't be real either. Or they're saying this, and I know that's not real. You know, people are talking about like aliens or the transgender thing, whatever it is, there's always something that'll like disqualify them as being like a legit, like, now I can understand breaking out of that occult, like multi-generational occult family and then being honest about it, right? And possibly, really trying hard to get out of that. There's nothing I wouldn't do for that person. But to say like, okay, well, everything's still a secret, and but we're not, but we're, he's trying. I don't know. That's what I think. Well, I think that in Hollywood, right? I think it is like there's something to do with angels big time in there because stars and angels are like synonymous, right? Like in the Bible, right? And so in Hollywood, right, there right, Debbie, see, that's amazing. I would love to hear that. I would love to hear that testimony, if you're willing to share that, because I think it's important for other people that are trying to break out of that. I'm desperately searching for people trying to break out of that. Like I bring up some of these uncomfortable conspiracies, right? And just to like say, hey, look, if there's a person out there that matches that, like you're not alone. Like we can work on, we can figure it out, But yeah, like Los Angeles, you're right, is like it means the angels, right? Los Angeles. And there's Hollywood's Walk of Fame is stars everywhere, and you're cast into a movie like, and everyone's calling each other a star, And I wonder, like, if that it has just a lot to do with fallen angel stuff. Oh, that's great, Debbie. Yeah, anytime. Email me your Okay, so goodservant22@gmail.com, and I'll give you my number, and then you can text me or whatever's comfortable. And yeah, that would be great. Yeah, because I know a couple people that were um from that kind of a family, right? And some of the stuff I get is kind of vague, right? Like, but I get it's pretty traumatizing. It's pretty traumatizing. I mean, it's no doubt traumatizing. Oh yeah, what did Ann put? I want to see it. Oh yeah, you got a Chihuahua. Oh, you zip them up in your jacket. Well, yeah, but that's just you loving your dog, right? But there was like this. Okay, but there was like this period of time, right, where these dogs were like size of a hamster, and like Paris Hilton and all of them, they all had them in. See, that's what I'm talking about, Debbie. Man, I would love to like just be part of that, there's something pulling me towards that. And like the people I've talked to about that, I've just, like one guy, I was like, if one of them was a guy, and he was telling me the story, a lot of stuff about his childhood, and it is, his mom was kind of a famous author in a way, and I don't know if that was a trade off. I don't know, right? But um, he was telling me about being scared, and nobody was like helping him, and it broke my heart because I have my own abuse in my own life, right? But nothing like this guy, but I could never get him to fully commit to being fully Christian, like to believing on Jesus for his sacrifice, you know. And I don't know. I kept pushing it, and it's like I think that's before I knew that you know you have to plant seeds and it's up to God, right? I was trying to. It was like a sales job for me. I was like, I need to convince him, you know. And sometimes you can do a lot of damage that way. So now I just plant little tiny seeds, you know. And if it takes a long time, or if I have to be super patient, then that's just what it is. Rob says, if you're an actor, don't submit to the contract written in blood. Then you'll always be an extra or B-lister. Well, I think it's even worse than that, Rob. Like, I think that they convince these people that they can, like, you can be a regular person and then, like, learn how to play the guitar and then, like, you know, get famous and sign a contract. I think that they convince like regular people to go out there and try to be a star, and then they end up putting them in like the adult films and all that, and really degrading, you know, people, you know, in that way. And it's that kind of a vibe down there. Like it's just that kind of a vibe. Yeah, you're right, Rob. You know, you're right. There's all that stuff. And it's weird how many of them do like have that black eye, you know, like it's a rite of passage somehow, or they get something stuck in their eye or something. I don't know. But even the Pope, right? Even the Pope had one, right? You got punched in the eye or something, right? Whatever they're doing it to everybody. It's weird, man. I mean, when I first was like, you know, like discovered like that, like the one eye thing, like when that first was real to me, you know, and you see like just how many people are doing it. Like it's everybody. I mean, we're talking like from every religion and every country, everybody that's famous, right, does the one eye stuff and all these poses. And it's eerie, man. The more you look at this kind of stuff, it just starts getting too big and you're like, what, are they all doing it? Like even like the Dalai Lama is doing one eye symbolism and you're like, what? Richard Dawkins, like you're like, wow, like that's what a range of people, right? Every celebrity. And says I agree, or they used to use you and steal your stuff. Yeah, sure. I mean, it's just a bad vibe in LA, man. I don't know what it is, man. I always get the creeps when I'm down there. And that's why I don't ever go down there that much, you know. I live up north, up in the middle of the state. It's pretty much the middle, up and down and middle, left to right. Like right in the middle. I used to live in San Francisco. Very close. Very close to the, well, not that, sometimes close to the water. We got evicted a lot. But they say you have to sell your soul to be famous. But see, I think you're right about the soul belonging to God. It is definitely a trick. But I think you have to be like related to them, right? Don't you have to be from like their family? Like that's why there's all these stage names, right? That are just, you know, they don't sound real, you know? Like is Vin Diesel a real name? I mean, come on, man. It can't be, right? Like and you think that they're all related in a sense that like they're from the same DNA, but they're probably like because look at Stephen Colbert and like Bob Saget or something like that. They look almost the same, man, to me. Closer than my brother looks to me, you know. It's got to be bloodlines, right? And it's got to be like, well, like part of it is like the like regular people selling out to Freemasons. You get to a certain level, and then I don't know, like some of your family gets to be like a mayor or something like that, or some kind of like low level politician or something. but you got to be totally sold out to get that. But like the real like celebrity stuff, right, where it's like big attention, yeah, it's all like it's probably all them, you know. Because like here's the thing, if you're in charge of the world, are you gonna say, okay, it's your turn in 4 years? You know, like you're gonna hold on to it as long as you can and give the illusion that you're switching it out, but it's really just another person from your people. Yeah, you're right, Rob. Eyes Wide Shut movie, pretty much. Yeah, you know, it's weird how they'll show us truth like that. And then it makes us look crazy by saying, look at Eyes Wide Shut, you know, and they're like, what? That's a movie. Or like what was it? What was that one with Roddy Piper, They Live or something? And I know the premise is ridiculous, right? But it's like these are documentaries, man. These aren't movies. Yeah, contracts, corporate fictions. That's how they get away with they borrow money under a corporation, then that corporation will fold, you know, and they're not out any money and personally. It's such a game, you know. Like I should have known like from the very beginning, like anything involving money is definitely rigged, especially that much money. But like more so than that, right? Like why didn't I just automatically assume that? Like now, of course, it's all driven artificially. It has to be because the economy is like it's like falling apart and it doesn't affect the stock market as much as you'd think it would, you know, or there's always some trick for them to make money and I don't know. It's like this mathematical system that's rigged one way. It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, I mean it's just insane. Like some of us like I think we do need to go to like I don't know. I'm thinking about leaving um YouTube, but like I don't think that it'll have the same reach, you know. We won't get as many new people. I think that was their plan. The whole thing is to like make it like totally free speech, all the other places, to get us away from the real popular, you know, sites, so that regular people that are just on the edge wouldn't see us. And those are the last sheep, right? That's the fullness of the Gentiles. They know what they're doing. You know, those are the sheep we got to reach. The people that are like us that haven't found God, like haven't found God yet, or haven't found the truth yet. Like either or, right? Like these are the people that are like seeking God honestly, right? That would believe it if they heard it, you know. And I guess it's all about like you got to be able to believe that everything. Like it's hard to believe that everything is a lie, but that's almost what has to be true in order for the Bible to be as I mean the Bible is the truth, right? This is the crazy thing because I thought like well everything in the world would have to be a lie then, you know, pretty much. And it is, man. Like in my head it was like the most least likely thing ended up being the truest thing. And like you know, I guess I would call myself a Christian 10 years before the whole decade before I ran into flat Earth. But like as soon as I knew that God was real and it wasn't just a belief anymore, and I was like, what? It was the greatest day of my life. And so I think I was a Christian before that, but it doesn't feel like it feels now where I'm on fire, where every day is about God and nothing else. It used to be like, you know, more like, you know, God's a big part of my life. I won't bring it up in certain places, you know, to try to be polite. But ever since like knowing that he's real for real, like I just want to shout it. I don't care what people feel about it, you know. And you know, and I feel bad for my friends because I mean, I was wearing them out talking about God all the time. That's all I wanted to talk about. And I think that's a good subject to talk about. I don't know. Like to me, it's interesting. It never gets old to me. I talk about it twice a day for an hour plus all the in between time, all day basically. I just can't believe how anybody could focus on anything else being true. You know what I mean? Like finding out that everything's a lie and that the Bible is true and that there's like this awesome plan for us that we definitely don't deserve. And then people are what? They're afraid of the end of the world and all this stuff. There is no end of the world if you believe in Jesus, right? For his sacrifice, for our sins, right? Then there's no end of the world. We just move on, right? To a place that's exactly like this minus the pain. Like it'll be like this, but no hunger, no thirst, no decay, nothing cruddy, right? Nothing is going to be falling apart. We won't have to go to the bathroom anymore. None of that, right? Like all the bad stuff from here will be gone, and it'll be all nice and new, and we'll be clean and healthy. I don't see the downside in that. I don't know, man. I don't know. If somebody has pride enough to where they'll give that up, then I've lost touch with what human beings really are. Then because I can't because like if you told me that you'll give me $1 billion for my soul, like there's no way, no way. I wouldn't even take $1 billion, no strings attached. I don't even want that in my life. But then to say like, that you have too much pride to submit yourself to our creator. I mean, that's the only reason we're here. We have a purpose. That means to me that's exciting that I'm going to be able to do what I was made to do, you know? To me that's exciting. Even doing this is fun, like if I can even be more in my purpose, like if that's at the next level, then so be it. I can't wait for God to come back. I can't wait. There's too many people in the world going through too much pain for me to want to like drag that out. It's like I want the pain to stop for everybody, and as soon as his feet hit the ground, it's over. You know, the people that are seeking God honestly are going to be able to get some relief, right? Rob says, yes, the money system in plain sight. The banks are like the banks of a river directing the cash flow. Yeah, I mean, isn't it weird how the language is like liquid assets? If you don't pay your bills you're underwater. Yeah, maritime admiralty law. I think that's how they get around like bossing us around because like God gave us dominion of the earth, right? And the earth is the dry land. They want to convince us the earth is the whole thing. And so like while we have dominion over the dry land, like their laws like are like of the water, right? It's crazy, man. It's just insane the stuff they come up with to like get around the system or to keep you down or I mean it's crazy, man. I mean, who thinks of this stuff? I mean, we're at the level of like cartoon villain level, Like just so evil that you can't even picture it in a real person anymore. It's but knowing that, right? But knowing that a lot of people ask me what the value is of knowing that is, and it means that everything God said was true, that I mean he even warned us it would be like this. And that the plan for us going forward is true and it's going to happen and everything that he said it was going to be like it is like it's hard to deny that, right? It's like I don't know how anybody could anymore with this much confirmation now. Then I don't know how anybody could. You must not want to know, you know what I mean? because maybe there was a time in my life where, okay, there is some confirmation, but not a ton, right? But now it's so much confirmation that how do you justify not believing anymore? Yeah, you got to be blind. You're right, Debbie. It's either like people say, it's either a spell, or there's blinders, or there's scales on their eyes, or they're just willfully, maybe there are these evil people we hear about. And I can't imagine a human being like that, but I know human beings have been like that. Or else we wouldn't have war and all this other stuff where we're killing each other, or the elite people making us sick, putting stuff in our food and water and all that. Like, there wouldn't be that kind of thing, right? And but I mean, it's hard for me to imagine a person that gets joy out of somebody being hurt or sick. I don't think I'll ever understand that, because I absorb people's pain. Just like if you came in here and said, "Oh yeah, I'm not feeling good," I feel bad already. You know what I mean? Like, before you even say what your symptoms are, I'm like, "Oh, they feel bad. I feel bad now." You know, it's like automatic. I would absorb everyone's pain. You know, and that's part of being, empathetic. And I know that, like, the majority of us are empathetic, right? That the majority of this group, for sure. You know. I almost feel like if I don't feel bad, I'm a bad person, right? Like, if I felt great while my brother felt bad, I would feel kind of like a bad dude. You know what I mean? Like I know that's a lie now, right? That that me feeling good is the best way to help him, right? But there was a time where, like, I felt like a bad parent if my kid was sick and I didn't feel bad, like feel sick with him. When I mean that, of course, I feel concerned. But Rob's Matthew chapter 4, verse 8 and 9. Again, the devil taketh him up into exceeding high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them, and saith to them, all these will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. And he says, no, he gave that up. My whole family doesn't believe. I'm just keeping on trying to plant seeds, though, and praying that God sends others to. Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes, right, like, sometimes it's got to be not us telling them, like, it's weird, it's like take Tom Brady, right? Tom Brady is like this, sports icon to everyone, right? But to his mom and his dad, he's just Tom, right? He ain't special, right? And so sometimes maybe it's got to be someone from outside the family, right? And because there's some things that I've tried to tell people, like, over and over and over again, like, I'm like, it's obvious this is the way it is. And then they hear it from just someone they like, like, for 2 seconds. Oh yeah, yeah, I believe in it now. And you're like, what? Like, what? I've been telling you that for 10 years. And, I guess, you just, you just hope that, whoever they're like, I think the best way is like, if, like, say, like, you're trying to plant seeds with, like, your brother. It's like, oh, I hope, like, yeah, maybe he'll run into a nice girl that believes that, and he'll believe it up right away. I don't know, or something, some kind of thing will happen, right? Where he'll love somebody enough to change, because the truth should always just be there. Yeah, with you, of course, with parents, it's hard to hear something. Yeah, as soon as my kids say that something's going on with them, oh, I mean, I hurt immediately, you know. And they don't even have to be close by, you know what I'm saying? It's like, but the last couple of days I've been really happy because I got my youngest one living with me right now, and that makes me feel happy. I wish I had them both. But the oldest one's in his 20s now. He's not so much a kid anymore, and so, but I wish I could have them both forever. That's the best thing I did, I think. I'm trying to think about it. I mean, besides like, my relationship with God and, being saved and, maybe some things I've done like to help other people, like those things are pretty big. But like one of the greatest things I ever did was have kids, man. If I could afford it, I would have like 12 kids. You know what I mean? I would. I love them so much, man. Even when they're really like not on track, it's like something. There's nothing that can make me not. I don't know. It's all a learning thing, right? There's no conditions to it, right? You know, you guys know. Alrighty, guys. Well, it's time to hit the old dusty trail. I hope that was a good show. I mean, I probably could have. I need to put more like into like maybe have some scripture, have some people up here and do more scripture and stuff. Be nice to have Stephanie and Jake back. That was a good little thing we had going. We'll figure it out, guys. But thank you guys for coming out. I love you guys, man. I always get pumped up, man. I feel happy. I feel like I can like I'm energized enough to finish my night or start my day depending on what show it is. And so oh yeah, let me read this scripture real quick. For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? Hmm. Mark chapter 8, verse 36 and 37. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah, good night, everyone. God bless you. Praise Jesus for his sacrifice and his grace. All glory to God because he deserves it. Please pray for the children. Pray for anyone being victimized out there. Pray for each other. It's important. And I will see you guys, Lord willing, tomorrow at 7 a.m.